If you really want to transform your life, you don't need a lifetime. You don't even need a year. All you need is a plan and 6 months of discipline. Now, 6 months might not sound like much, but let me tell you something. 6 months of focused effort can do more for your wealth than 6 years of wandering. And today, I want to give you a success plan, not just theory, but something you can do starting today. Success begins with honest self-assessment. It sounds simple, but it's the step most people avoid. They want change, they want wealth, they want transformation, but they don't want to face where they really are, and that's the problem. You can't get to where you want to go if you don't know where you're starting from. It's like trying to draw a map without knowing your current location. You need clarity before you can create change, and clarity comes from truth. The first thing you must do if you're serious about transforming your life and building wealth is tell yourself the truth. No sugar coating, no pretending you're better off than you are. Just the facts. What do you earn? What do you owe? What are your habits around money? How do you spend your time? Are you working with purpose, or just going through the motions? Are you making progress or just staying busy? This kind of honesty can sting a little. But that sting is where transformation begins. People don't fail because they lack opportunity. They fail because they ignore reality. They ignore the growing credit card debt. They ignore the bad habits. They ignore the time spent on things that don't matter. They tell themselves stories instead of facing the numbers. That's dangerous. Because the truth doesn't go away just because you don't look at it. And it's not cruel to face the truth. It's empowering. It puts you back in the driver's seat. Think of it this way. A business that doesn't keep track of its income and expenses is headed for disaster. The same is true for your personal life. If you want wealth, you need to become the CEO of your own life. That means reviewing your financial statement like a boss, tracking where your money is going, knowing how much time you're wasting, knowing how many days you've been putting off starting something you say is important. Success demands responsibility, and responsibility begins with awareness. In the first month of this 6-month success plan, you don't need to earn more money. You need to become more conscious. Carry a small notebook or use an app and track every dollar you spend, every hour you waste, every excuse you make. Review your bank statements, write down your debts. This isn't punishment, it's preparation. Once you see the full picture, clear and unfiltered, then and only then can you start to build something real. And you'll be surprised at how much changes just from seeing it all honestly. When I started doing this in my own life, I realized I wasn't broke. I was just unaware. I had leaks in my financial boat, and no one ever told me to check for them. But once I did, I started plugging those leaks, and suddenly I had more to save, more to invest, more to work with. It wasn't a matter of working harder. It was a matter of seeing clearer. Don't underestimate the power of this first step. Honest self-assessment is the doorway to all progress. It's not glamorous, and it won't impress anyone on social media. But it will impress the future you, the one who looks back and says, that was the turning point. That was the day I stopped drifting and started directing. So if you're ready for wealth, start with truth. If you're ready for change, start by confronting where you are. Because transformation doesn't begin with wish. It begins with awareness. The first month is not about doing everything right. It's about seeing what you've been doing wrong and having the courage to call it out. Once you do that, your future will never be the same. Most people believe the road to wealth begins by adding more income, more clients, more hustle. But the truth is, wealth is not just built by what you gain, it's built by what you remove. Before you multiply, you must subtract. Before you go faster, you must clear the road. Look at your life and ask, what's weighing you down? What expenses bleed your bank account each month but add no value to your life? What habits drain your energy and rob your potential? In this second month of the plan, your job is to eliminate those things, ruthlessly and consistently. Cancel subscriptions you don't use, stop impulse spending. Delete the apps that tempt you to waste time or money. Say no to the social commitments that take time but offer no return. This is where real financial freedom begins, not with earning more, but with needing less. Subtraction sharpens focus. When you cut away what doesn't serve you, you create space. Space to think clearly, space to act intentionally, space to build something meaningful. Simplicity is powerful. A simple life is easier to manage and easier to grow. So don't be afraid to let things go. Minimalism isn't about living with nothing. It's about making room for everything that matters. Discipline isn't just about doing. It's about not doing. Not buying things you can't afford. Not scrolling endlessly. Not trying to impress people who aren't paying your bills. Every time you subtract something unhelpful, you increase your capacity for something valuable. You create margin, mentally, emotionally, and financially, and margin is where momentum begins. So in this phase, don't look for what you can add. Look for what you can subtract, and watch how your wealth begins to grow, not by accident, but by design. Your income will rarely exceed your personal development. That's not just a clever saying. It's a universal law. If you want your wealth to grow, you must grow first. The person you are today has produced the life you're living today. If you want a different life, a richer life, then you must become a different person. More aware, more skilled, more disciplined, more valuable. This is the heart of month 3. Commit to your own growth like your wealth depends on it, because it does. Money doesn't flow to need, it flows to value, and value is something you build. You can't demand a higher income if you're not improving what you bring to the marketplace. You don't get paid for time, you get paid for the value you bring to that time. So this month, start reading every day. Just 10 pages of a good book on wealth, mindset, or strategy. Listen to podcasts while you commute. Watch seminars in your free time. Study those who have done what you want to do. Learn their habits, their philosophies, their principles. But remember, growth is not about inspiration alone, it's about instruction. Don't just consume motivation, implement transformation. If you don't invest in your mind, don't be surprised when your money doesn't grow. Your bank account is a reflection of your mindset. If you think small, you'll earn small. If you think rich, you'll act rich long before the money arrives. Wealth begins internally. It's a mindset long before it becomes a number. You don't have to enroll in college to do this. You don't need permission. The world is filled with knowledge. Books, mentors, courses, experiences. But the key is consistency. If you grow a little every day, in 6 months you'll be a new person. More competent, more confident, and more capable of attracting wealth. So make a decision. Every single day I will grow. I will become more valuable. I will learn something that makes me stronger, wiser, and wealthier. Because when you grow, everything around you begins to grow too. Wealth doesn't arrive in a single, dramatic moment. It is the quiet result of small actions repeated daily with discipline. You don't become rich by chance, you become rich by choice, and those choices are not made once a year. They're made every day. That's what discipline is. Doing what needs to be done, even when you don't feel like doing it. In month 4 and beyond, you must build a daily routine that builds you. Your routine is your foundation. If you waste your morning, you waste your momentum. If your habits are weak, your results will be weak. Success isn't a secret, it's a system, and that system is your daily disciplines. Start small, wake up with purpose, spend the first part of your day working on your read, reflect, set your goals, schedule your work time with intention. Treat your financial goals like appointments you can't miss. Whether you're building a business, investing, or learning a new skill, do it every single day. Wealth is not a lottery ticket, it's a routine. Think of each disciplined action as a seed. One seed may not look like much, but planted daily, watered with effort and time, it turns into a harvest. Miss a day and nothing changes. Miss a week and you start to slip. Miss a month and you're back where you started. That's why discipline is not punishment, it's protection. It protects your vision from being stolen by comfort and procrastination. Let me remind you, discipline is not about being perfect. It's about being consistent. You'll have hard days, you'll feel tired, you'll want to quit. But every time you choose discipline over ease, you strengthen your character. And character is the foundation of lasting wealth. In 6 months of daily discipline, you'll look back and be amazed. The money will have grown, yes, but more importantly, you will have grown. Because what truly makes a person wealthy isn't what they have, it's who they've become through discipline,